afternoon. Thank you, those in Kenya following this through the webcam, because basically we really like to talk to them today. Today, as you know, we are having status conference with the trial chamber on the Kenyan cases. That's why I was thinking it was an opportunity to explain what is happening. Tomorrow is my last day as the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And for me, the Kenya case is one of the most important activities we are doing, because we understand not just what important is to do justice for the past, but also how important it is for Kenya to be sure that the next elections are peaceful. And everyone agrees that investigating what's happened in the past elections will be crucial to avoid a repetition of the next elections. That's why we were very firm promising that we'll investigate the case, and we present the case to the judges in 2009, and then that we will try to identify those who had to go to the court in 2010, during 2010. The court reviewed the evidence of the prosecutor and concluded that there are reasonable grounds to believe, substantial grounds to believe, that 4 individuals have to face justice for the violence during the last elections in Kenya. Now the judges will define the day of the trial, and the new prosecutor, Fatou Bensouda, will be in charge to organize the activities to go to trial. For me, it was an honor and a privilege to serve the Kenyan people. As the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, I am an independent public servant of Kenyan people. And for us, it was very important to reach them, to understand their concerns, and to present the case who explain what happened in Kenya. I really appreciate the effort of Kenyans, the commitment of people who were willing to go outside Kenya, to be protected, to be the witnesses. But also, I would say, it was very important that the individuals named by the court also appear in court, showing that in Kenya everyone respects the law and everyone will face justice and accept to face justice. That was very important. Now it's a new phase, and I understand there are some people who like to, or urging the court to make decisions very quickly in order to define something in the coming elections in Kenya. I don't think this is right. The judicial process has its own time. The process to start a trial is complex. There are security issues, so it will take some time. And also I believe the Kenyan elections are a matter for Kenyan people. So in the same way the ICC find the evidence and identify the individual responsible, the Kenyans have to find the candidates for the political process. It's not for the International Criminal Court to define who could run for elections in Kenya. It's not for the International Criminal Court to define what the candidates say. It's time for Kenyan leadership. It's time for Kenyans standing and explaining their views and collecting votes. So Kenyan elections is up to Kenyans. The judges will define the day of the trial. The judges told us that the decision will be taken before the summer recess, meaning probably in the first part of July. But I don't think there's any chance that the trial will end before the elections. That's why, to have certainty in a judicial case, the Kenyan had to wait. So the trial will not be before the elections, but justice will not go away. will be justice in Kenya. And I hope it will be peaceful elections in Kenya. And Kenya had to know that for me it was an honor to serve them as the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court. And I'm sure the office, you had to count that the lawyers of the office, the investigators are working all the days to complete the case, to present the trial, and to represent the Kenyan victims before the International Criminal Court. So thank you very much to all the Kenyans who are supporting us, and be sure the Office of the Prosecutor of the International Criminal Court will continue fulfilling its mandate, ensuring that justice will be done in Kenya. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, I can answer. Can you manage to the Kenyans?
Questions on the floor? Yeah.
I'm Thomas Verfuss, ANP, Dutch National News Agency. Mr. Prosecutor, as you quite rightly pointed out, the 6 suspects appeared here in The Hague voluntarily. They have never been in detention. For this situation to continue, there might be certain requirements as to their the behavior. Do you think that, for example, recent do you think that the behavior of suspects in recent meetings, like so-called prayer meetings in Kenya, might become an impediment to their staying at liberty before the trial starts?
The judges gave clear instructions on the behavior of the people who will go to trial, and we are monitoring the activities there, and we are presenting information to the judges, and if needed, of course, the office can request arrest in Kenya, depending on the behavior of the people in Kenya.
Janino Agence France Presse. Mr. Prosecutor, the prosecutor in the Kenyatta Mutawura case today has asked for the 2 trials to be synchronized. She's talking about Kenya 1 and Kenya 2 to be synchronized. Can you explain a little bit about the thinking behind that? What exactly is the prosecutor's office looking for in terms of synchronicity? And does that mean that the 2 trials should run at the same time, or Kenya 1 should run first and then Kenya 2? Yeah, I was just wondering if you could maybe just explain a little bit about that.
No, we believe it's important to do the 2 cases in parallel at the same time.
Oh, sorry.
Alex Chamwada from Citizen TV in Nairobi. I was making a follow-up question. What's the reason, or why would the trials be synchronized? What is the exact reason?
The trials are connected. The situation is, in some way, some of the attacks were retaliation for the other attacks. And also, it's a measure to try to ensure that no group feel attacked itself. As you well know, in Kenya, some people believe they're attacking my tribe or my group. And I think it's important to show the court who is not doing that, the court remaining partial, and including showing that in this way to organize the trials.
If you could allow just two more questions. The defense is complaining that the prosecution has been contacting its witnesses, and that is to, I'm attributing this to, or rather this was said by lawyer Khan. What's your comment on this, the prosecution has been contacting the defense witnesses?
You saw, and all the Kenyans saw the court activities. So I don't like to comment here in the media this aspect. I like to present here the prospect, thank the Kenyans, comments on what happened in court, happen in court.
How concerned are you about the situation in Kenya? You say that we tried to avoid a situation we had 4.5 years ago. How concerned are you about the security situation in Kenya in general, and then in particular in terms of witnesses and witness protection?
No, as you know, the evidence show that Mr. Ruto and Mr. Sang were involved in planning activities for 1 year before the elections. And if you read the reports, even the media reports or the political analysis report, no one was realizing that. So no one was aware of the planning. I don't think that this year will happen the same. I think the activities of the court and unveiling this fact are helping us to be aware and to prevent this to happen. Of course, it's not just for the court. It's very important that the local communities understand the risk, and they have to prevent their brothers and sisters to be involved in this type of crime. So it's a very important moment for the local communities in Kenya to stand and to lead Kenya to a different election. The witness protection is always a concern in Kenya. There are attempts to affect them, and we are working to neutralize them, including doing investigation in different countries. So we're working a lot on this, but this remains confidential. But yes, we are satisfied that no witness was affected, but it's a huge activity. It's a very intense activity for the office. Okay.
Citizen TV? Microphone?
I'm sorry, sir, I missed this. We were downstairs. But your parting shot to Kenyans, and how unique has the Kenyan cases been to your career? Just an overall, as you wind up, your parting shot to Kenyans, how unique has been this case, and what can you tell Kenyans about your relationship with the incoming prosecutor?
No, as you know, Kenya is very warm, and when I went there, they were very open to receive me and to share with me their worries and support our investigation and request our assistance. And we saw the victims in Kenya, many of them with no assistance yet. So, and we saw the poor people in particular who were divided. When you went to some areas, you see communities that in the past were living together, playing football, suddenly were divided and killing each other. And everyone was resenting that. So I saw the suffering of people in Kenya, and as a prosecutor, I had the honor to serve them. I had the honor to serve the people in the slums, the people who receive no justice. We are working for them, and we receive a lot of gratitude from them, and we are very honored to work for them. And I'm sure Fatou Bensouda, the new prosecutor, is totally committed. She was also involved in the case, and she will lead the trial. That for me, it's not about the day of the trial. Justice will not go away in Kenya. Justice will be done in Kenya. So, but in the meantime, elections will come, and the Kenyans have to understand this is their Kenyan business. No international observer can define elections in Kenya. That's why, but for us, going back to your question, yes, it was a big honor to serve people in Kenya. I think Kenya case is important in Kenya because I hope will allow peaceful elections, but also it's an example for all the region, because Kenya example is going out. When we have elections in Congo, in Senegal, people were talking about that. And I know I received information for candidates, but also members of the government, how influential was the Kenyan case to ensure peaceful elections in other countries. So in this sense, I always say Kenya will be an example. And Kenya is an example. Kenya is moving well, moving ahead to have peaceful elections, to define its destiny in accordance with its own leaders. And that is the challenge ahead. It's not the court challenge. For us, the challenge was open the investigation, collect the evidence, identify those more responsible, and then win the confirmation of charges. That was our challenge. And this, I always say, will be a long journey. We're in the middle of the long journey, but we'll keep moving. with the new prosecutor, the office will keep moving. Okay. So from the webcam, we cannot receive questions from them. Okay. So again, just I like to say personally goodbye to the Kenyan people as a prosecutor. I'm leaving tomorrow. For me, it was an honor, a privilege to work for you. And we are in the middle of a long journey. Justice will not go away. The new prosecutor will conduct the trial. Thank you very much for all your support.